Hello and welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for Act 2 of the League of Legends animated series, Arcane. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, reformed League of Legends addict Dylan Blight.
So I'm booted up the game yet.
Still haven't done it, let's keep it strong. Another weak chip.
Yep. Oh, you know what I did do though? I did pre-order that Hextech rhythm thing on my Switch, so don't know if that counts, but
no, that's like, I guess that's the equivalent of vaping when you're trying to quit smoking.
yeah.
I don't know what the equivalent is for hard drugs, but
I don't know.
All right, please be aware we're fairly discussing anything and everything but the plot themes and ending of the series so far. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. It's available on Netflix. Let's jump into a discussion of Arcane, Act 2, created for TV by Linke and Alex Yee, directed by Pascal, Charrue and Arnold, Delord, story by Linke, Alex Yee, Connor Sheehy, Ash Brannon, based on League of Legends by Riot Games. We've got Episode 4, Happy Progress Day, written by David Dunne, Episode 5, Everybody Wants to Be My Enemy, written by Amanda Overton, and Episode 6, When These Walls Come Tumbling Down, written by Alex Yee, starring Hailee Steinfeld, Elena Purnell, Kevin Alejandro, Katie Leung, Jason Spisak, Toks, Olagundoye, JB Blanc, Harry Lloyd, Mick Wingert, and Remy. So obviously this episode we get like a sizable time jump. Jinx is older. Vi's right.
Mm-hmm.
Got the name right first time. She's been in prison this entire time. And Jayce and Victor are like the heralds of Hextech and like great people within the community and much loved celebrity types. Caitlyn grew up to be like an impositor, but she's that rookie cop who wants to do more than she's actually getting told to do and that kind of stuff. So, Dylan, what do you think of this second act of Arcane?
Yeah, really good. I mean, more. I was interested how much this second act sort of put a lot more focus on Jayce and the chancellors and not that. I feel like they were the most prominent part of this act. Like you still got a lot, Jinx and Vi, but I would say that it leaned more heavily towards the Jayce stuff as well, which was fine. I think there's a lot interesting happening there. The memes I've already seen about Heimerdinger getting
so sad.
There's Among Us memes for the Heimerdinger thing I've seen going around, which is quite funny. But in general, that scene was quite sad and good moment. And there's a lot happening with Jayce, obviously, in these few episodes, and like how his character's slowly changing and the decisions he's making, and the stuff with Victor is getting super sad, especially if you know what his character sort of becomes. So that's interesting to watch. There's a really we get to see at the very end of this, there's like the one shot in the final episode of Singed actually looking more like Singed, which was cool. Then obviously seeing a lot more Vi being like proper Vi. Well, she wasn't that different, I guess that's the thing. Like Vi was always like sort of like her character is always, she's not someone who goes for a drastic change. She was always sort of Vi in like Act 1, and by the time you just get to Act 3 in the trailer we see at the end of this, you just see her with the proper fists and everything, whereas obviously Jinx is the character who has like the major character change between Act 1 and Act 2, and that's really good to see. I like the way they portray her sort of psychotic breakdowns, I guess. I don't know like how you want to put it, but like the, speaking to herself and seeing things and just the how out of it she is. I like the way they portray that in this and stay true to her character in that film. The fights are really cool and everything still. There's lots of really mysterious elements that I'm pretty sure I know who's who and guessing, but like the fire whatever they're called, like the other group who came through in the last episode, they're at the fast. I honestly can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I know like what's the go there. Well, I think I do anyway. But they're cool, obviously, and have a cool fight scene with them at the start, and then you get the final one in episode 6 is really cool, and then Vi has that really cool fight scene, the fist fight, which was awesome to see as well. There's a few good fights in this whole 3 episode run. But overall, yeah, it's more of the good shit. And I really like how the episode starts. It's like you can tell there's not only the characters are older, but you're seeing like the gates and everything, like technology has gotten so much, even through this few years, technology's grown so much. So yeah, really enjoyed it still.
Yeah, I'm still really digging it. I don't think obviously it doesn't have that emotional wallop that we got in the first act. But still really strong, still great world building, and like, again, all the different characters, obviously Jayce, like, kind of being seduced by the political side of, working with the council and that kind of stuff. Victor's drive to try and fix himself and thinking that Hextech is obviously going to help with that. And then, obviously the Vi Jinx connection. Jinx, it'll be interesting. I haven't read anything, but like, obviously when you see Jinx, it's hard not to think of Harley Quinn and like kind of her psychotic kind of episodes and talking to herself and that kind of thing. But I feel like there's enough of a difference between the two. Obviously, she being super proficient in mechanics and demolition in general. I thought some nice touches. She's got like scarecrow versions of the two kids who died, and they show up like in a bunch of like image, like, I don't know what, there was like a rotating shot where you see them as like other versions behind her or something. I can't remember exactly.
So like the voices in her head.
Yeah.
Is like, I guess, the thing.
Yeah. And I just like the animation in general, like with her and like trying to remember stuff and like kind of scratching out Vi from her memory and that kind of stuff. Also enjoyed the Caitlyn Vi relationship. That was quite interesting to see kind of grow over these few episodes. I'm really digging it so far. Alright. So who's the dude that Victor is, obviously we get flashback to young Victor, and there's a dude that he's talking to. Is that somebody important?
Yeah, so that's the dude he goes to at the end, and because it's the same person, right? Unless I'm mistaken, but the dude in the flashback's the same person.
They're voiced by two. Obviously, you got Silco, who's the major underworld boss now. Yeah,
no, not Silco. So the person at the end, where Victor goes into that room, is like, I understand now. Yes. Like, that's the same character in the flashbacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Singed.
Okay.
Or what we believe, which is a character who, well, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty, like, 99% sure that's Singed. It looks a lot like Singed, especially in that final shot. He is a character who experiments and does weird experiments and stuff, and his gameplay mechanic is more or less that he is a tank who runs around spreading poisonous gas everywhere, and you can like flip people behind you and just like poison them and shit. But if you look up, if you look up what he looks like, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same character at the end. He's also a character who, in the lore, now we're getting into like potential spoilers if they do it, but like I think in the original lore, he is the person who was like experimenting on Warwick and like makes him, and that's who I was saying that Vander could end up being Warwick. So they could say that Singed has been experimenting on Vander still, and that's how you could have him come back. But yeah,
okay, interesting. And what was that creature thing that we saw? Was that something?
I'm not sure. I might be missing something there, but
yeah, it looks interesting though.
Yeah. And then the other person I was going to say is, I'm pretty sure the leader of the ski board gang. I'm pretty sure that's just Echo. So because you don't see him.
That would make sense.
Yeah, he like disappears. Obviously, you don't see him in the entirety of Act 2. You haven't seen him since the end of Act 1. That would suit for his character. He's also someone who doesn't kill Vi or anything. Like, he does save him. There's also a character trait in the very opening shot of the first episode where he's like flipping a stopwatch, which is something he has. And then he also has a red bandana around the bottom. You can see his neck, and that's what he wears in the game. So, and obviously it just makes sense if one of the main characters from Act 1 has disappeared and become now a character whose face you don't see. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we got Jayce kind of working his way in the council. I think the character of Mel, who I think we only got introduced to at the very end of the last act, the other counselor, is quite interesting, and like she's playing some sort of political games, and like to what end is she using Jayce, I guess, is the question. Also, I didn't expect a sex scene in this in this animated show, but whatever.
Yeah, I know, right? And because I actually saw a spoiler, but I was like, I don't really understand if that's just supposed to be a meme or not, because I saw someone tweet something like Jayce goes down or some shit, like spoilers for Arcane, but there you go.
Wow.
It was intense for I was like, is this rated M? Must be.
I mean, there was some like sexual stuff in the, like, obviously V takes her to takes Caitlin to like it's a whorehouse pretty much. Like get information, that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed her final confrontation with their confrontation with Silco. Like, and the shimmer, I guess that's what it was called, the whatever substance they're using, the pink substance.
Yeah, that stuff,
and then, how much of it is kind of this weird drug thing. It looks like she's got some of that in her potion that she was given to heal. So, maybe that's where she gets some extended powers or whatever going forward.
I mean, there's like characters that feed off sort of stuff like that. So,
yeah, definitely something that needed to be introduced, I guess, for going forward. Obviously we get like the hex gem, whatever, the refined version. Apparently it's like the thing they're showing off at the start. It's like, I guess we're getting these cool, magical, high-tech weapons that were for good reason, help with mining and stuff, but
yeah, well, you do see in the...
He almost grabbed a...
Did you watch the Act 3? Did you watch Act 3?
Did.
Yeah, because you see a shot of Jayce with the hammer and that, so it's coming.
It's coming. And then, Caitlin, she's a great shot, lots of little things, I think. Nothing too big. I will say, really weird that they threw Imagine Dragons actually in the show. They're canon inside Arcane.
They are officially part of the League of Legends universe, so
they're part of Zion or whatever the underground world is. Yeah. I did like obviously we go to the last drop or whatever the bar was. That used to be Vander's. It's like super, after being like a cool tavern, now it's like super hip techno music, can't hear anything, young person place.
It was kind of sometimes like the show, like there's another shot where they like in a club, like was it Act 1 or whatever, and it's like got full like pumping dance music and stuff, and it's, like it's just like, oh, there's a bit of everything going on here.
Anything else you want to talk about from this act?
A couple of things I didn't notice, but I've seen people like point out on Twitter, which is always handy. So there is apparently Mel has like a painting or something, or she mentions, and I missed the hint that she's from Noxus, which is basically a place that. So if you want to get into like, without going like deep potential spoilers, I guess for sure, but like imagine like a Game of Thrones universe or I don't know, something like that, and imagine that eventually Noxus is like a different place that gets into a fight with Piltover. So there's some interesting details there. She is from Noxus, because then I don't know, like why is she here? Who'd she left? What family? Will she betray? Like I don't know, like who's going on there? Everyone's still trying to work out who she is, but also there's a rumor that she's just the next upcoming character. I'm through Act 2, we still haven't gone back at all to talk about if that was Rise who gave us the crystal in the first one. Like that's where Jayce got the crystal from. So I'm wondering if they'll ever return to that at all, or if that's just sort of like...
How do they get these crystals,
Yeah, it's like that's just a backdoor thing to Rise and all. That's the more magic sort of stuff might be explored later. I don't really know. There's something else I was going to say too. No, I can't remember. All I know is it's like by the time we get to Act 3, it's just in that trailer we already see so many hints as to like characters going their full sort of more in line with what they are in the game. Obviously, everyone getting their proper weapons, and like Vi has her gloves, and Jayce has his hammer, and you get to see a Jayce Vi team up and whatever. So that's going to be cool.
Who are they going to be fighting though?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Echo is like part of that group of mercenaries or whatever, like it's funny because the show centers them as bad guys because that's just how the characters we're rooting for viewed them. But really, every time they've done something, they're like trying to destroy the stuff that should probably be destroyed. Like they're not really.
Well, they're up against Jinx, who is technically working for the bad guy. So
yeah, I was going to say Jinx is kind of the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe everyone's just fighting Jinx and Silco and whatever's going on there. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where the show finishes, and I would presume and hope that they leave it for a season 2, and which is fine because I think the show has done well enough. Or just based off Twitter,
on buzz, and,
buzz. I feel like surely it would get at least a second season. So, you could surely get 3 seasons out of this. And then sort of wrap it up there because once you go past 3 in Netflix rules, you better be doing like millions and millions of hits or else Netflix says...
But I mean, technically it's a Tencent video that they're licensing out to Netflix, so...
I mean, does it count?
I don't think the same rules apply, so...
Okay then, yeah. Yeah, well it just feels like there's a lot going on here that I don't need this all to wrap up and then... I'll find these characters again in a separate show, like let's just have Arcane, like let's just focus on these characters for a while. Let's just slow things down a bit. I'm sure there's lots
we've got 76 other spin-offs we can do. We're going to do them all now.
You can do a bunch of
successful.
Also, shout out to the in the kids in that scene with Silco in that kid's room. There's the one goon who like flips through that book, and you can see a Yordle, a Teemo looking Yordle.
Yeah. All right. Let us know what you've thought of Arcane Act 2 by going to explosion.com/Twitter or jump into his Discord at explosion.com/Discord. Help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts and Podchaser or tell people about the show. And if you like this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.